God, that's a huge one. Check it out. Today on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel, we're gonna take you in the woods, show you how to pick wild mushrooms and cook them. Show you how to eat them. Awesome. Hope you enjoy the video. This is a chanterelle mushroom.
I ain't afraid of work. I ain't afraid of play. I ain't afraid to get the job done and do it my own damn way. I ain't afraid of life. Times like this. If you mess with my freedom, I'll tell you just what you can kiss. That's right.
Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another awesome Food Friday video here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. We are not on the Stoney Ridge Farm and we're not in the farm kitchen, but stay tuned to the end because we're gonna take you and show you how to cook these beautiful chanterelle mushrooms. So today I'm gonna teach you guys a little bit about how to forage for mushrooms. Now do this at your own risk. I'm gonna give you some pieces of advice and we're gonna take you around on this hillside, and we're up here in the mountains of North Carolina and it's chanterelle mushroom season. So anywhere between June and October, it's mushroom season. It's mushroom foraging season, and it's something that I'm really interested in, and I thought I would take you guys along and share with you how to forage for delicious mushrooms that you can take home and eat, and they taste in no way like anything you've ever had in your entire life. Awesome. Let's have some fun. Folks, welcome to the farm channel. Welcome to Food Friday. Please hit that like button if you're interested in this kind of stuff. There'll be more. We're gonna be planting shiitake mushrooms in about a week. So our own mushrooms on our own farm, but this is foraging for wild mushrooms. And this is a chanterelle mushroom, okay? It's an orange mushroom and it has ridges on the back, okay? It does not have gills. So there are a few rules and a few books that you probably wanna purchase if you're interested in mushrooming. The first book is Mushrooming Without Fear, and this is by Alexander Schwab. I have this book, I have another mushroom book that I'll post a link to down the video description, and I have an app on my phone just to double and triple check these mushrooms before I consume them. So it's Mushrooming Without Fear, and I believe the other book is called Mushrooming with Confidence. I didn't bring it with me today because we really don't need it here in the woods, but I will post links in the video description. So this book has all sorts of pictures inside of it of all the different kinds of mushrooms that we can eat. And the boule mushroom is all over this mountain, okay? There are a few things you need to know about mushrooms. So there are 3 or 4 different types of mushrooms out here that we're looking at. Some mushrooms have gills. Number 1 rule, until you're educated on this, is to stay away from mushrooms with gills until you know exactly what you're going to eat. The other book, Mushrooming with Confidence, gives you a little more confidence on the mushrooms with gills so that you don't mess up and get sick. Now, here are the mainstay rules, guys. Number 1 rule, never take a mushroom with gills. Number 2 rule, only take mushrooms with tubes, spines, ridges, or the maverick. Okay, so the maverick is the puffball mushroom that you guys probably commonly see out in your yard. Believe it or not, you can eat those puffball mushrooms. The 4th rule, if a mushroom smells rotten, it is rotten. If it's soggy and gooey, it's rotten, okay? Don't pick it, just leave it and let it grow new baby mushrooms, okay? Only take the primo type mushrooms, okay? Look before you cut. When you get down into the bushes, and we're gonna cut some mushrooms here in just a minute, make sure you're not cutting on top of an anthill or you're gonna get bit by a snake or something ridiculous. Black snakes, copperheads. Also, a good place for a black widow to hide is right up underneath the chanterelle mushroom. So you gotta pay careful attention. Mushrooms want to breathe, so don't suffocate them. If you're out here foraging for mushrooms, we're putting them in an egg basket and we're also putting them in a bag. You want to keep them cool until you can get them home and clean them off. You don't want to rinse them with water, and this book will tell you all this stuff. The next thing, if in doubt, leave it, okay? So if you have a doubt about a mushroom, just leave it. Just leave it on the forest floor. These things are doing a job for the forest. They are helping to decompose the forest floor. So without further ado, we're gonna walk right up in here. There is a trail right here that I frequently come to for mountain biking here in North Carolina, and I found the mushroom gold mine here. You can't see it, but this whole hillside is completely littered with boule mushrooms, with some type of guild mushrooms. There's cauliflower mushrooms, and what we're looking for is the chanterelle today. So let's go find them. Here's my egg basket, and I also have a paper bag, okay? If you're picking mushrooms, you want to pick all the same kind of mushroom and bring several different types of paper bags and put all the same mushrooms inside the same paper bag, okay? The reason you want to do this is because when you're picking mushrooms like this and you pick an oddball out that could be poisonous, you can see it. You can totally see the difference if you put all those different types of mushrooms in the same bag. If you mix up different kinds of mushrooms, you'll never know the difference. So that's something that's a safe way of thinking while you're collecting mushrooms. And we're already right on top of a chanterelle mushroom right here. So this guy is absolutely gorgeous. We'll peel it back. And the chanterelle is a really cool, you can see this one's kind of worn a little bit. The chanterelle is an interesting mushroom. We use a knife. We do not pull the mushroom out. We use a knife and we cut the stem just like so, okay? Now, what we're looking for are these ridges on the back right here. They're not gills, they're ridges. And these two mushrooms right here are pretty good, but there's a couple little bad spots. We just cut out the bad spots. The knife I'm using today is a bushcraft knife from Gerber, and I'll post a link to it also. We're gonna leave this guy alone. So the reason we cut him off down low at the ground, and we'll go to another one and show you real quick. By the way, look at this big, gnarly, black, slimy thing right here. Right beside it, a beautiful chanterelle. So pretty amazing, guys. There are just chanterelle mushrooms all over this mountainside. So what you need to know is that the mushroom reproduces by spores. The spores will fall out of the mushroom, and or you look down in here, you can see there's a millipede right there. You look down in here, there's mycelium that grows on the forest floor. So we want to get down, we want to cut the stem, get a good sharp knife, just like so. Cut that stem right off there, and that preserves the mycelium in the soil, and another mushroom will come up. Year after year after year, these mushrooms will come up. That is a beautiful chanterelle. We'll look at the back side of it, and you can see the ridges on there. Really, really cool. Put that dude in our basket. This basket is gonna be totally full in like 10 minutes. There are hundreds and hundreds of chanterelle mushrooms all over this hillside, and it's what I had for supper last night. Let's go on up here and pick some more. See this guy right here? He's a little worn, a little tattered, and we'll leave that guy alone. See this one here? Again, a little worn, a little tattered, a little worn, but we've got some fresh ones that have just sprouted right here and right here. So this guy here, just go in again, just cut him right off, right there. Absolutely gorgeous, guys. Put him in our basket. This one right here also, okay? We'll clean them all up when we get home. Now, if we go over here, you can see this little guy's raised up. And this has gills. So let's just take a quick look at this mushroom. We'll pop it up. That's gills. That's what you want to stay away from, guys. And you see down in there as I picked it, some milky nastiness came out of there. So we want to wash our hands and don't use a knife on that one, because that's probably a poisonous mushroom. Coming over here, another absolutely awesome, beautiful mushroom, but this guy has gills too. You can see it has gnats flying all around it. It's probably the same exact variety of mushroom. So we cruise right on over here. This is a boule mushroom right here, okay? It's a little bit worn and tattered, and you can see that it has striations on the stem right here. So this is an edible mushroom, and we're gonna cut it, and I'm gonna show you the underside, okay? See the underside? It bruises a red color, okay? And the yellow underside, these are called tubes. You see the difference in the tubes versus those gills. Very cool. We'll leave that guy on the forest floor. We're not gonna consume him. Here's another boule mushroom, okay? We can see it growing. This is probably an old oak stump of some sort. And up underneath here, this has the tubes also. We'll bust it off just to show you guys real quick. We won't disturb too many mushrooms, but you can see that's the same variety of boule mushroom that we just saw right over here. So the fun of doing this, in my opinion, is just cruising around on a trail up in the mountains and finding awesome edible deliciousness, guys. Super fun, and seeing just how beautiful all these mushrooms really are. If you look down right here, I've got another little beauty right there, and that mushroom does have gills underneath the bottom. We're gonna cruise right on over here, and we're into another little patch of chanterelle mushrooms right there, okay? You always want to cook these mushrooms, all right? Just in case there's been some kind of dog or some kind of critter taking a poopy up here, you don't want to get sick. So we're gonna rinse that guy off. So we're just gonna keep on picking. I'm not gonna show you what the boulet mushroom is for consumption today, because this video is all about chanterelle mushrooms. And I will tell you, I came up here about 2 days ago. I picked a ton of mushrooms and I took them back to the house and I looked them all up. I looked them up online. I have an app on my phone. I'll share that app with you in this video description down there. And that app on my phone told me this one's bitter, this one's sour, this one is not good. So the culinary value is also very, very important. And the chanterelle is a 10 out of 10 culinary value, where the mushrooms that you buy in the store are probably a 3. That's how good they are. Set my basket back down, and here we are, another chanterelle. We'll just come back in here, cut them off, gently put them in our basket. Chanterelles everywhere down in here, guys, everywhere. Absolutely delicious, gorgeous mushrooms. Once you try these, you will not go back. This one has a little brown and a little black, so it's gonna be a little mushy. We're gonna leave it alone and let it seed out for next year. Some mushrooms like to grow at the foot of oak trees. You see right here, this is probably an oyster mushroom, an immature oyster mushroom. You see right here, there's all sorts of mushrooms all around in the forest, guys, and you just have to train your eye to see them. We'll walk on down here just a little more, and there's another big beauty chanterelle right there. So we'll come in. Again, try not to damage that root structure. That is so gorgeous. It looks absolutely poisonous, doesn't it? Something yellow like that just doesn't look like something that you'd want to eat, but it is absolutely delicious. Trust me, guys. Mother Nature gives us her bounty. We just have to have the knowledge to know how to pick it safely and enjoy our mushrooms safely. So absolutely awesome. We're gonna hike on down the trail just a little bit, as we don't want to take all of our mushrooms from one place. So here we go. Just a few yards down. See another gorgeous chanterelle. Where you see one, you will see more. So there's one chanterelle here, and there are several right down in here. Just squat down. If you'll notice, this is a beech tree. Chanterelles like to grow underneath the beech tree. Okay. Also, something you need to know, you need to have a good sharp knife, and you just need to educate yourself just a little bit. Reading these books is a very easy read, and it's super fun to take your kids out, take your family out, and learn how to do this. That way you'll never go hungry, and you'll have something interesting to eat that nobody else has. Nobody else has them. Such a variety of mushrooms up here. Look at that guy. Little red ones all over the hillside right here. Just as you look, you just see more and more mushrooms, mushrooms, mushrooms. This place really is the jackpot when it comes to mushrooms. It's just absolutely awesome. Look right here. Another little mushroom. That one has gills. Want to stay away from it. Don't even want to touch it if we have to. These, and I don't know for a fact, but this is potentially an oyster mushroom right here, okay? I don't know for a fact, so I'm gonna leave it alone because I just don't know. The more research I do, the more learning I do, the more I'll share with you guys as time goes on here on the channel. Also, be sure you tune in, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna show you how to plant your own shiitake mushrooms on your property. And you don't have to have a big piece of property to do that, and you can grow the most delicious shiitake mushrooms you've ever put in your mouth. Well, here's a nice one. Check this guy out right here. Go in with our knife, respect the forest. And there's a good one right there. Awesome. Here's another bolete mushroom, guys. Let's show you again. This is an edible mushroom, but it's a bitter one, okay? See how this doesn't bruise? It has tubes versus what we looked at a little bit earlier. And if we rub it just a little bit, it may bruise. You can see it yellows just a little bit. That's how we tell the characteristics of a mushroom. We're just gonna leave this guy here. He's a pretty mature mushroom. He'll be rotten in a day. Here's one that looks very similar, but it's got gills. Stay away. Just so you know, I'm not some crazed hippie up in the woods picking mushrooms, man. I just love this stuff, and I think nature has so much to offer us, from venison to wild turkeys to stuff like this. And oh, yeah, there's another patch. God, look, that's a huge one. Check it out. Oh, look at that chanterelle right there. Get in here with our knife, do a little cutting. That's a full meal right there, guys. Look at that. Unbelievable. Wow. Here's another one. It's a little too far gone and a little bit rotten, so we'll leave that one as seed stock. And again, you see how we left the stem right there. Another gorgeous chanterelle. You just can't mistake these, guys. Now, something's been underneath this one, eaten like a caterpillar, so let's cut it and take a look. Yep, you can see a little bit of caterpillar poop. That's what that is right there. So we'll leave this critter alone. You can see where he's been nibbling on that thing. Once your eye's trained to find these, that's all you'll see. Anytime you go in the woods, you'll always be looking for mushrooms. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at all these mushrooms. That's enough mushrooms to keep my tummy happy for a couple days. And this is something that you can do about 3 or 4 months out of the year, guys. So if in doubt, leave it sitting. Don't pick mushrooms that have gills. And if it's nasty looking, it's probably gonna be mushy and nasty, so don't pick it, okay? Respect the forest and leave some of these mushrooms behind so that they'll bloom and they'll come back year after year after year. What it takes here, guys, is a nice north-facing slope just like this. This is facing a little bit northwest, and humidity and cool nights. So these cool nights spur these mushrooms to bloom, and that's where you'll find them. So when you get a good rainstorm and the fall weather starts to sit in and a nice cool weather starts to kick in, it drops down to 50s at night, get out in the forest and look around, because there's food all around you. Now, stay tuned. We're gonna take these back to the kitchen. I'll show you how to cook them real quick. Awesome. So we're back to the farm kitchen. As promised, we're gonna show you guys exactly how to cook these. All I use is a touch of soy sauce and butter, and that's how we cook these. Super, super simple, guys. If you wanna add more to it, you can. Garlic, salt, garlic powder, whatever it is you wanna add. Let me show you how to clean them real quick. It's something that's a really unique characteristic. They say don't get them wet, but if you're careful, you can go ahead and get them wet and just rinse them off. So we wanna get a little cold water just dribbling a little bit. You can see you need to cut this basically right down the middle. You'll have little hitchhikers get in there, okay? You want to cut right down the middle, and you'll see there's a little bit of trash and they get a little grit in there. Just simply rinse it off. Now we'll take this over to our frying pan. So this pan is from Stargazer Cast Iron. I'll post a link down the video description. Best pans I've ever found for modern day cast iron cookware. Look at that thing. Awesome. We use a little bit of avocado oil in our pan. I like to get my pan warm, and I use this awesome rolled butter. It's Amish butter. Just get me a little chunk of butter out off of there. About a tablespoon. This is a medium-low heat right here. We'll go ahead and we'll put our mushrooms in, just like so. They will slowly relax and flatten out. We'll also put a little sprinkle of soy sauce on there too. Cover that up. Give her about 3 minutes. The sugars in the soy sauce will caramelize just a little bit. See, they darken up just a little bit with that soy sauce. Get it in there, get it all sweet. I turn the heat up just a little bit. Again, we want to get a good sear. Right, crispy right around the edges right there is what we're looking for. You can see right down in here, we want it to be crispified, and you can see how it flattened out and it shrank just a little bit. This is a perfect complement to any meal, or just use it as an appetizer. We are done. Out on the plate we go. Ooh, daddy. There's the part that's gonna make it all worthwhile. Oh my goodness, they're so delicious, guys. Again, the culinary value of 10 out of 10. Until you've experienced this yourself, you just don't know how awesome something like this can be. From the forest floor to the kitchen and right into the gullet. Absolutely delicious, guys. I will say, thank you all so much for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm today on the nice Food Friday. This is a little different of a Food Friday than we normally have. Next week, we're gonna be making creme brulee, so hopefully we'll see you then. Make an awesome dessert. I have a lot more mushrooms to cook. Oh, it's so good. I don't even know how to describe it. Imagine what you get in the grocery store, the mushroom flavor multiplied by 10, sweetened and buttered. It's absolutely delicious, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll post links down in the video description to the app that I use for identifying mushrooms and the 2 books that I use. Mushrooming Without Fear. Mushrooming with Confidence and Without Fear. Hardback, ring bound. I like both of these. You can take them out in the field with you. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. You see all these tomatoes. Guess who's making tomato juice today? Thanks. We'll see you guys next time on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. Woo!
Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo!
All right, folks. Mother Nature gives us her bounty. Oh, it's so good.